again.
I know. Oh, look, we're live already.
I need to get Mike Burns as my new co-host. We'll have a lot of fun.
I tried to pay him. He said no.
Sunshine came softly from
You heard this on the commercial on TV, right? That's where I've been hearing it for like the past week.
I changed my ways.
It's Monday night, and I know people have canceled their vacations.
You can't talk on that microphone while your music's playing.
I know people took a vacation today. Probably quit their job just so they could watch this show tonight. They wanted to make it so bad. But I got two special guests, and no, Frank's not one of them.
That's for sure.
That I want to have these guys on the show because they're just awesome. Two stand-up guys. Don't get any better than this. Mr. Mike Burns from the Lehigh Valley Metal Detecting Club. Mr. Andy Sabisch from the Old Gangsters of Metal Detecting. The guy is, if you don't know who Andy is, you might as well just click goodbye right now. So welcome to the show, gentlemen. How Mike, how are you tonight?
Good. No complaints.
That's good. That's good to hear. And Mr. Andy, how are you tonight?
Doing good. I'm sitting here about an hour away from the Meridian Hunt site. So
Oh, you're still down? I thought you were home.
yeah, we were. We extended it.
That's cool.
What do they say? A bad day down here is better than a good day at work.
Yeah, there you go.
So why is my picture? Oh my God. So you're in what, Mississippi?
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome to Mississippi. I understand, Frank. 95 degrees down there, huh?
Today was a breath of fresh air. It rained, a little thunder, didn't get above 82. I turned one of the air conditioners off, but it's been we've been close to 100 a couple days down here.
I got 70 and breezy. Mike, you probably got that same weather, nice and cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's nice about it though is you can see the air when you walk outside. That's a good thing.
You know what's funny? You know where Mike is? So in our tri-state area, which is basically South Jersey, PA, and Delaware, the weather reports, they always want to talk about the snow that's coming. Right? We're going to get hit with snow. And South Jersey won't get any. But Mike is up there in the mountains of the Lehigh Valley, and they're always the ones that get the snow when they make the reports. Yep. Am I right or what?
Remember the day
I'll get some where Andy lives, still get it all.
Snowstorm coming, it hit South Jersey, and it would vanish in like a little dome over South Jersey. We'd never see it.
Yeah, he's up there in the mountains.
He's getting
well, I mean, where we are, I mean, we get it.
He's in the mountains.
What gets me is when they say expect a dusting, and you open up the door, and it's like, holy shit.
No, they do the opposite to us. They're like, you're going to get 18 inches.
And we get nothing rain.
Yeah, and I don't even get a dusting.
And you go to the supermarket and there's nothing left on the shelf.
That's because I got there first.
And down here, we get one snowfall in 30 years that crossed the Florida border, and everybody in South Florida runs to North Florida so they can see the snow.
To see the snow. But I like the Lehigh Valley where Mike is. It's neat. They got that tunnel, which is really cool. You're close to the Poconos, right? I mean, you're not far because I know
an hour.
Yeah, I used to go to Blue Mountain. Do you ski?
Oh, no, I used to as a kid.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun as hell. I used to. I don't ski anymore.
I don't think so. I'm not a fan.
I'm what do you call it? I'm an avalanche when I get on skis. But listen, I wanted to have you guys here for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is, what was it? It wasn't even a month ago, right? A couple of weeks ago, Mike had one of his biannual hunts, seated hunt out there in Lehigh Valley, and it takes us about an hour and 15 to get there. We love it. We get there right on time. Mike is laid back. You know what? If someone's late, he's going to wait for him, and that's what's really cool. And I love his hunts. We had a great time. I drove up with my buddy Rich, which I did this on purpose because we had to take two cars. So me and Rich drove in mine, so we didn't have to listen to the women. It was Elaine, Debbie, and Carolyn Cowling in the vehicle, and So me and Rich were just in what do you call it? Dementia world, laughing our asses off all the way up. So Mike was a great hunt, but I want to shift over to Andy. But Andy, after the hunt, you really wrote a very nice and accurate accolade on Mike's hunt. Can you reiterate what you wrote? You remember?
Well, like I said, most people know me. I got into this hobby in 1964, and we really didn't have a lot of organized hunts back then. But 70s, 80s, they started to take off. Silver was cheap, prizes were cheap, and hunts were cheap. And what's happened over the last decade or so is recognizing that silver is expensive. Now, Mike he can go into details on how he gets the coins and how he makes sure that he covers what people have paid in. But what I'm seeing attending hunts and talking to people that attend hunts is the payoff, the payback. Nobody's going to get 100% of what they paid into it, and that shouldn't be why you go to it. But the unknown of how much got paid, how much was taken in, how much got put in the ground. And as you see less and less return when people come out of the field with 2 or 3 silver coins, and you see that across the board, and you paid $125 or $250 for a weekend, it makes you question, where did the money go? And, Mike is probably one of the few hunts that I've ever been to. What Mike does is every dime, every penny, every coin that goes in the ground is recorded. And at the end, everybody that comes off the field accounts for what they found. So at the end of each hunt, Mike can tell you exactly down to how many coins are still out in the field. And that transparency speaks to the integrity of the hunt. For the hunts that don't do that, and you get prizes that look like they were bought at the dollar store or Harbor Freight, or things that were donated that didn't cost them anything, where'd the money go? And, when you start doing the math, if you get 100 people or 150 people at $100 a piece, that's, $10,000, $15,000, and nothing comes out of the ground, it puts the event in question. And I think Mike's approach is unique in terms of ensuring the integrity of the event. And, Mike, I'll let you jump in because I know that you latched onto that early in the game. And people respect you. And, I think that's something that really other clubs might want to look at picking up, so that there is some transparency to what was taken in and what was given back.
Yeah. I mean, Andy jumped on with us early on. It was my first hunt. It was out of the blue. He's like, can we come? And I'm like, and I thought it was a joke. I'm like, I asked like my other club members, I'm like, do you think this is really him? And they're like, go ahead, see. And like, he showed up. But that's always been the thing of like, there were previous hunts in our club before I took over the hunt master part, where it's just like, it didn't seem like everything added up. And I was just like, why don't we just do checks and balances? You know what I mean? If we say we spent $1,000 on silver, how many dimes, how many quarters, how many halves, and then just have everybody report it. That way, there's that transparency of, that if I say there's 1,400 dimes, you could come to me at the end. Like we had over 1,800 coins last time. We had like over 1,400 dimes, and then between tokens and whatever, and we were at like over 99% of the coins. We were missing 1 quarter token, 1 half token, and a couple of dimes. And the dimes always kind of, if you just don't get one person to report it in or check their bag,
right.
The dimes can always be
find it at the bottom of their pouch.
Right. It was wet that day. Coins stick together. They stick in the pouch.
Tim Lynch found one in his bag.
Yeah, he had one of the
dimes. Or you
could
could be like me and detect with a gigantic hole in the bottom of your pouch that you didn't know was there.
Yeah, he had the other quarter, and no one's ever surfaced the other pink penny that was the half. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm
sorry. You know what, Mike? Though, even if it's not said, and you guys, you have this event twice a year, every year.
Yep.
But eventually, you start paying no matter what the fee is, no matter if it's $10 fee, no matter if it's $150 fee. when you start paying and you go into these events and you're walking out with 2 dimes and a bottle opener,
Right.
it starts to get around. People start to there's a lot of events that are tagged as really big events, and we're not going to mention names, but we don't push those events because we're whether not about liking the event or not liking the event, but it's the feedback that you get, especially when you have a forum like this. The feedback that you get kind of sets the stage for what people are thinking about your event, and there's nothing but good stuff said about your event. Nothing but
we as everyone knows, and I'll reiterate again, we have that strict rule when it comes to promoting a hunt, whether you're going to come on our site to advertise for your hunt or someone's going to speak up for a hunt. It's not getting past Frank or I unless we have personal knowledge that this hunt is legitimate and is going to be as close to accurate as they promote their hunt. We all know natural hunts can go in any direction, but unless me or Frank have firsthand knowledge or a very well respected, I'll say, elder of our page.
Exactly. We have a bunch of people who we trust that may know these events
we trust.
Unfortunately, a number of the organizers for these big events, and again, we're not going to go into names. Anybody that's on Facebook, there's a group you may want to join. It's called Seated Natural Hunt Reviews. 30,000 people that joined it, and you'll see reviews, good and bad, of any of the hunts. And as Frank said, you'll see some of the events, the seated hunts where you get no prizes, or these natural hunts where you're paying, again, if you do the math, 250 or 300 people at $200 a piece.
It's 200 plus a pop, right?
Yeah, that's $60,000 that goes somewhere. And I've run into some of the organizers for these events at some of the large rallies over in Europe. And England is got rallies throughout the summer, or the fall and the spring rather, because of the fields being planted. But their rallies, they'll have 500 to 1,000 people on these rallies with 1,000 acres of land, and they charge $50, and 90% of that is given away to St. Jude's or
right.
a charity. So that money, it's very transparent there as well where it goes. Now, when those people brought that concept back here for these natural events, I mean, we don't have fields where you've got 3,000 years of history on them. So to find an area that can support 250 people multiple times, some of these hunts have been held on the same ground for 10 times.
Right.
The fines are getting kind of weak. Now, if you want to look at it, it's a good opportunity to meet your fellow relic hunters or treasure hunters. That's great. But by the time you put $250 plus airfare or driving and hotel and meals, you're at about $1,000.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I haven't gone to any of those recently, and especially if they're not going to a charity.
And some of the big events, like the Garrett event that's held in Texas, I don't know the other ones. That there's one that's like $400 to get in, and then on top of that, like you said, either it's airfare,
you got to get your room, you got to fly,
yeah, you got to pay for the room, and it really adds on to what goes on.
And you know what? And granted, there's some of these events are on the same ground every year, and they try not to be seated, but some of these events are an awesome social gathering, and you get together with these people. And I'm trying to, in a couple of the events that we're behind, that we push, I'm trying to get implemented. You're going to have to do seated hunts at some point, and everybody says, "Oh, I don't like seated hunts," but when you're at these events, not one person misses the seated hunt, and perhaps we can get some of the sponsors that are there in force and trying to sell their product to sponsor some of these events.
I tell you what, I like when a natural hunt pays off.
Well, that's the best. I mean, it's the best.
It's nobody's fault.
But if I'm paying $50, for a
Right.
weekend, and I'm doing a natural hunt, you're not hurt if you go out there and you pull pool tabs. It's more than just going out there and hunt. But by the same token, it could go well.
But I'll tell you what,
Frank and Steve, you guys probably remember this. Go back to Atlantic City. Remember we used to have the treasure conventions there?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's your camaraderie. There's your event where you can all get together and hang out and have a good time.
Right.
So maybe we need, we as an industry need to look at going back that way. Treasure Expo, that was down there in Myrtle Beach for a few years. You want to go there, you can hang out with coin dealers and metal detector companies and accessory manufacturers.
And there was enough big dealers down there that
Yep.
they took a chunk of the cost of your room away. I mean, we were paying almost nothing for the room. We're spending a weekend. You're in a destination location as long as you're not on the boardwalk after 5 o'clock at night. But we were having it was a good time. So, but again, getting away from Mike's thing, Mike, the fact that your event is growing every year, people are not hesitating to come to the event. There's no question about what they're pulling out of the ground compared to what they're putting into the event. That's what makes a good event. That's what makes people talk well of it.
I do got to say the one best thing about Mike's event probably is Frank's not there. Let's face it. Nice day had by all without you tripping over your own feet out there, losing your pinpointer,
burying my pinpointer in a hole.
But so what Mike does though is he's got coffee and donuts and Danish in the morning when people are registering, so that's well thought out. He's got a porta-john, which I've been to some of these large hunts, and they forget to get the porta-john until the second day. That's always good for a few laughs, especially with women there. And then he provides lunch. So I mean, how many hunts can you go to where you've got 100% transparency of what goes into the ground? And he provides all the rest of this at no cost.
And the way he puts it on, I'll guarantee you, it's nice to break even, have a great event. I guarantee you, he's not breaking even 100%. I guarantee you, there's money coming out of his pocket or somebody's pocket for the last minute things. Because when you put everything in, when you take everything in and you put it all into the ground and all into your food, there's always something that pops up that's going to come out
like
of your pocket.
We have a sponsor for our food. Like I have a company that I co-own, so we sponsor the food. The club pays for the porta-john. Last time we paid for the all the breakfast stuff in honor of Donna.
Right.
And then Andy puts on the poker hunt and the relic hunt, so that helps. But yes, there's any money we make is on the raffles. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people, people, I don't know about the money or anything, but the 50-50 was a lot of money. Was a lot of money this year, and I know a lot of people were buying raffle tickets left and right.
And when you know what, that helps the club. But guess what? Somebody's walking away with half of that.
Well, that's 50-50. Yeah. What I'm saying is, people really do. They're really buying a lot. And how many people did you have this year? There's 60 summers.
I had 70 for the spring hunt again.
So
one thing I'd say though, Mike, is the field size and
the field's nice.
You want to avoid. You got to watch. You got to balance. How many do you want to have?
Right.
70. I think you're pretty much maxed out at 70.
Yeah, it was
if you
perfect.
go much more, some of the clubs that have done well and have increased the number, hey, we'll go to 120.
Right.
Yeah, that's way too big for there.
It falls apart. The recipe doesn't work by
elbow to elbow and yeah.
No, everybody was spread out at the beginning of the hunt. So let's run through the day, Mike. We after the registration, we had the poker hunt.
Correct.
Which for the 4th or 5th year that I've been there, or however many times I've been there, I lost again.
Well, that's fair.
Well, you keep trying to say, you've got a joker, but it's got to be a card, not yourself.
Because look, I got all red, but they're not in any kind of order, Steve.
At least this time I wasn't like in second place. Like we're winning, and then the last team beats us. So, all right, so we had the poker hunt. That's really fun. Everybody had 4 or 5 people on a team, and they go out and they get a card. That's always fun.
It's a good icebreaker.
Right. And then we had the silver hunt.
Correct.
Right. Then Andy's hunt or lunch.
Yep. Andy's hunt, then
Andy's
lunch.
hunt. Then we had lunch, and we had the last silver hunt.
Correct.
And I got to tell you,
Steve, it's funny how you gauge your entire day by lunch. Everything has to surround.
Listen, I did pretty well. There's a whole bag here of what I went home with. And you know what? I didn't win a single 50-50. I mean, a raffle ticket.
Raffle.
I didn't win a single raffle this year.
I have to admit this though. I have to admit why Andy's here. That at the Meridian Hunt, I won Andy's donation. but Barb will be pleased to know that we're gonna donate it to the kids' Christmas.
So okay, Mike. So let's talk about how the raffles went. What did we do?
And then we also had the kids hunt all day.
Oh God, the kids were having a ball. Kids had a ball. Yeah, there's a lot of kids there. Listen, everybody is nice there. Everyone is friendly. No one's out to be like, I'm gonna win it. Like I didn't see any of that ever at any of your hunts. So everybody's fun, friendly. It's good to see them again. So then you hold 3 raffles for the day?
3 raffles and then the 50-50.
And then the 50-50. So, you know, at early in the morning, they have a raffle. And there's a lot of prizes. You called out a lot of numbers. None that were mine. Granted, I just don't know if you put my numbers in the box.
There were some numbers on the ground that were probably yours, but that's
probably mine. That's where they went. Yeah.
It's funny. I got an envelope from Mike. I had a bunch of tickets, and I guess they must have been yours.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? So, the raffles are really nice. At least maybe we'll say 20 prizes. I mean,
yeah, and like some of the smaller prizes, we put in a raffle ticket for the second event. So you're kind of winning, not winning. You know what I mean? Like you have. It's kind of like a second chance, like a lottery, like a free ticket.
That's fine. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody was buying a lot of tickets. And like I said, another thing that goes on at your hunt is everybody's got Andy's ear, man. Everybody, you know, it's hard for me to get a chance to talk to Andy because everybody's talking to him and he's, you know, giving advice.
I almost think you better start putting on those boot camps again, Andy.
Yeah, I saw Andy at 7:20. He was there at 6:30. And it was hot and it was raining. And then I saw Andy right before he left.
Andy, the last event I was at, I stayed on the property and I was late.
So another nice thing that Mike did, and I really appreciated it, like this was the first time that I set up a table and sold some things and my 3D things. And I really appreciated that, Mike. So if I'm able to do it again, I will do. For the next hunt, I'm gonna either get with you or come up with something to. Like I was going to donate an acid box to give away, but that's such a niche of a product that whoever got it wouldn't have been. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
autographed pictures of me.
Yeah, give them something to step on.
It's a big seller.
For the next hunt, I'll print something up that's either got your logo on, or we'll do something to get.
Okay, yeah.
And that's the next thing. When is your next hunt? Did you say November?
October 25th.
October 25th. And I'll bet you can. I guaranteed me and my whole clown posse will be there.
Good.
Yeah, we bring. I bring 5 people to the hunt.
Have you opened registration yet, Mike?
Nope, Thursday.
Oh, you're open. Wait a minute.
Keep in mind, Thursday, it's going to sell out fairly quick.
You're selling November's hunt, man.
Yeah, we did the hunt we just did. We sold out in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
That way, it gives us time. Like silver looked good on Friday, and then it jumped like 5% today. You know what I mean? Like I picked up a couple silver dollars because the fall hunt we call it big silver too, so it's only quarters, halves, and silver dollars.
There is no how do you put it? There's silver is just what it is. It's expensive, you know, and everyone knows that. You know what I mean? We know you're doing the best you can on that line, so there's just no way around anything. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's like you can hit it one day. Like I almost bought all the silver dollars Friday, and then like it jumped today, and I'm like, I wish I would have. You know what I mean? So it's just like, but it could go down in 2 weeks, and then I'd be
At
like,
least it's not gold.
oh my god, yeah. Even like was it not this spring, last spring, we did the gold hunt.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
I couldn't even, you can't even find like those half grams, those grams on cards. They're like unicorns at this point because everybody's just making the 1 ounces.
I heard there's a run on sand at Home Depot because they all watch the video online and everybody's panning the sand at Home Depot.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like grams. Now, if you get it at a coin shop, you're paying like 130, 140, 150. I mean,
It's insane. It's incredible. I watch it. You know, that's what I'm saying is, so we know that part is not, I don't want to say your fault, but that's out of your control. That's just out of your control. And
right.
You know, you work with what you've got. You put the best. You know, you take your dollars and you spend them as best you can, and you do a great job. You know, so
yeah, and it's
just really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's fun. I do want to mention Team Lynch, Tim and Kathy. I don't know if you want to, but I noticed you made a post that they made a very nice donation, and you know they really enjoy the hunt too. They're
yeah, one of the key things that I think we do also is like, and it's just little things that your parents taught you. So like thank you cards. You know what I mean? So like to the people that help out, the sponsors, even like my team that volunteers. You know what I mean? They get a thank you card. So it's just those little things that, you know what I mean? Because in the day of the hunt, I don't want to forget to say thank you to somebody who helped me out. You know what I mean? Because we do it.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry. How do I?
We can hear you.
All right, now I know you can hear me, but my hand went across the keyboard. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
Yeah, like we do it so short-staffed, it's crazy sometimes to think like you see some of these other hunts where they have like 10, 15 people. We're doing it in like 4 and 5 people, the whole event.
Right.
You know, another thing that Mike does, which again to me is a standout, having been to enough other hunts, is whoever buries doesn't hunt.
Absolutely. And that's how it was for years, and now all of a sudden you got guys buried and they're going out swinging a coil.
Yeah, and suddenly they dig a hole and there's 20 silver coins in a hole.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, Mike, I don't know what clued you in on that, but again, that's unfortunately it's something that's not something most people do.
I saw things and I'm just like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's like when you see like, wow, the guy seating or the person seating found more than anybody else.
Exactly. That just lends to your credibility. Absolutely. That lends to your credibility, your transparency. It was a rule in place for every event I've ever been to up until the past few years. That kind of fell away.
See, that's the whole thing, though. I know I don't even care because I know I'm going to go out there and find a lot. You know what I mean? It's like I just go. I have a good time. You know, it's just fun, and I can tell you that everyone that went with me had a good time. Carolyn, Elaine, Debbie.
Yeah, like I said, there's never heard anything bad about your event. It's always a very positive thing, and people.
Yeah, we have a lot of
appreciative of it.
We have a lot of return. You know what I mean, clientele. It's like
and that's it. That's a good testimonial.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I don't know how gullible your club is, but I get there and those people are nice to me and they say hi to me.
Not everybody says hi to you.
Yeah, no, everybody, you know, yeah, and they know my name, and I'm like, yeah.
Mike tells me to get a silver dime for everyone that says hi to you.
All right, wait.
When did they find out that bag of silver you saw? That was just stuff that he picked out of somebody's pockets. He emptied their pouches as they were getting lunch.
I just want to make a quick announcement. Everybody knows this young lady as the princess. Tell everybody where you're now. She got a job for the summer, and it's a really cool one. Tell everyone where you're.
It is a cool one.
The aquarium.
Speak up.
The aquarium.
Give it some life, kid. She's working at the Camden Aquarium, which is, you know, a nice one, a really well-known one. And tell everybody what you're doing.
The touch exhibits.
Yeah, and what happens at the touch exhibits? And they touch the fish, not you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen, I gotta ask. So what goes on at the touch tank?
You touch a shark or a stingray.
Right, but what are some of the things people?
Stingrays are my favorite.
Pick them up.
People try and pick them up, put them in their pocket.
That's you, Steve, right?
Oh God, I'm that person. Yeah, I am that person. But
It always is grown man.
yeah, she's got a really good job at the aquarium, just for the summer till she goes back to school.
That was such a fun. Lil, I was a part of the shark feeding program.
Yeah,
When
you
they
were the
first
food.
opened up, they didn't have staff, and the police divers would volunteer, and we'd go feed the fish. And I just loved those. I love the stingrays, the manas. I'm not allowed back there anymore, but I used to really love them.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah. I
like
went back there
like that same
to
incident
the
with you in the
live
chicken coop, right? I'm trying to get her. Listen, I'm trying to get her to get me a private tour, like me and my wife. And if my wife falls in the shark tank, like I had nothing to do with that, right?
They got cameras.
Well, that's fine by me. Hey, listen, I know nothing. But
Hey,
yeah,
when my kids were in school in South Carolina, they had a thing at the Charleston Aquarium where you could go down and spend the night. So we actually slept.
Oh, in there with all the fish around. That's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
yeah. But the Camden Aquarium's no shoddy aquarium. I mean,
the Adventure Aquarium's not as a nice place nowadays. It's really a nice place.
Yeah, well, guess what? She says, I told her, I said, you're not going down there at night.
I was going to say the area is still not any better.
Yeah, well, guess what?
It's the one bright spot in a big area of clouds.
They got her going there Saturday at 10. It's from 7 to 10 at night. And I'm like, first off, I'm going to take it, then I'm going to pick you up.
Yeah, right.
Even though it's a short ride out of there, it's no.
When I used to drive through there, it was the red lights meant you slow down. You don't stop.
Oh yeah. Yep. During the day, around the aquarium is nice. You can walk around. After dusk, it's like Atlantic City Boardwalk.
Well, Atlantic City, you get 2 blocks off the boardwalk, you're in the wrong place. So
yeah. Actually, a lot of parts of Atlantic City, you get 2 blocks on the boardwalk, you're in the wrong place.
I had a lot of fun in that town when I was working. Whenever we chased a car, they went right into Camden. So I'm chasing this car through Camden, right? And they want you to like call this out and tell them where you are. Somebody said to me, they go, where are you? I said, I don't freaking know. He goes, what do you see? I go, a bunch of row homes. How am I supposed to I'm on streets of all row homes? I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at. It was you keep going in circles and stuff. It's pretty funny.
It's Camden. Just look for the lights, the overhead lights they're on.
And Mike, so the hunts, I mean, looking at the people that you've had, how far have people come to attend the hunt?
I've had a guy come from North Carolina twice. Right now, I'm getting a lot of people from New Jersey, New York, the Maryland area, Pennsylvania. There's 2 guys that come from Erie every time.
Yeah.
So a couple hours,
It's so funny that the North Jersey folks, and I'm in South Jersey, it takes us about the same time to get there. So it's not really much further from some of that.
Like everybody under the trees by registration, that's like the Jersey crew. I mean, they're all super supportive. Which is nice.
It's a great hunt. We enjoy it. I thank you for having it. I thank you for tolerating all the BS I give you before, during, and after the hunt.
No, I appreciate you promoting it all the time.
No, you're just so welcome. Listen, you got carte, like I said, and I'm not blowing smoke or saying anything, but you have carte blanche to promote your hunt because we know it's a good one, and
Right.
The only complaint I have for the last one is, I know nobody was there, but boy, that locking that porta-john at 6:30 in the morning, I was.
The porta-john almost didn't show up because Andrew, our president, he manages that park, and I'm like 2:00. He's like, it's not here. I'm like, what do you mean it's not here? Like it showed up at like 4:30 or 5:00 because usually he'll meet him there, unlock it. You know what I mean? Because you get a lot. That park has a tend of you get some homeless and a lot of activity at night with cars and young adults.
Well, but at 6:30 when I rolled in, I was the only car there metal detecting wise, but
Right.
there were plenty of people in the woods, and there was activity going on there. There wasn't
Now,
metal.
let's
Yeah.
give a shout out to your president, Andrew. What's his last name again?
Petroselli.
So, okay, yeah. Great guy. We send all our money to him, right?
Yep.
We send our money to him. Great
And that
guy.
way, him and I work together. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's like
when
a partnership.
if people Venmo, it goes to him. Because I had gotten something back. Well, I don't know what was yours. I sent one time and I got it back from like Big Butts Entertainment or something.
No. Like the first time we did it through my company.
Right, Big Butts
The problem
Entertainment.
is everything, because it's a business. So even if you send it as friends and families, it ate the fees.
Right.
So then like the club had to reimburse like over $100. So you know what I mean, what's in the ground is in the ground. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying for people that know who they send it to. Like,
Right.
Remember I called you, I go, who is this Big Butts Entertainment? And you're like, that's my private dance club.
What?
That's not what it's called.
That's how I read it. That's how I read it on my statement.
Yeah, it's independent wrestling TV.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I don't know where you stopped on the way home, but that wasn't the hunt.
That was Rich's fault.
Yeah.
That's always.
But there is a porta potty always on that facility, up top of the other field. But the one they dropped off, we didn't think it was going to show up, like because it was like they finally called them at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Like, yeah, we dropped it off, and it's just like, okay, thank you.
I'll tell you what, that location is really nice, and it's out of the way. No one bothers us, and it's the perfect size. It accommodates all the cars. Everything just works real well. It really does.
Yeah, it helps that it's not a, quote unquote busy park.
Right.
I mean, during the day.
And what time did we wrap up this year? Like 1:30, 2 o'clock maybe?
1:45, 2 o'clock, yeah.
Right. It gave us a perfect enough time to ride home. It wasn't too late. We were a little tired. I was tired. We had a great day. We just had a good time. Yeah,
the spring hunt, when the dimes are there, there's definitely more targets in the ground. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more. None of us are getting any younger. So like when you're up and down, up and down, up and down, you know what I mean? Like rabbits to get the.
You're talking about Rich and Elaine, right? Not me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And just even seeding that event is.
Oh yeah. But you and your compadres do a great job.
We appreciate it.
Again, and then
you always got a place here to promote that event, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean,
and I'm like, I got a lot of guidance from guys like, Andy, Donna Funk, Alan Solomon, like different guys who have run hunts in the, PA, New Jersey area. Like, I always kind of go to them and like, I have this idea. And they'll be like, no, that's a bad idea. And I'll be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, Andy and I talked about something, and I'm like, I think about doing this. And he's just like, it's not a good idea. And I'm like, I agree with you then. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's seen thousands of hunts where I've only promoted, what is this going to be, the 5th or 6th hunt that I've put on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's going to people who have knowledge, respect, and experience, and trying to use the good parts of the wheel rather than reinventing the wheel.
What? I know you didn't like my idea, but I don't think the kids are too young, and we should have dancing girls. I'm just throwing it out there. A little massage tent to get warmed up prior to the hunt.
The problem is that we'll never get you off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you won't. No. But that was my little input for the hunt that got shot down really quick. Yeah. I don't know why.
The one thing that's frustrating with almost any hunt you go to is people have the latest and greatest machine, and they all have to run a multi-frequency, and they have to run at maximum sensitivity.
Sensitivity all the way up, baby.
And
I didn't have any problems. I had no problems.
I've told people go to single frequency, and you know what? More than one person says, "How do I do that?"
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Didn't even know what the button was for.
That's the second hunt, not the first hunt. The second hunt of almost every event that I go to, I spend the entire hour and a half between the hunts putting everybody a single frequency, 15 kilohertz or whatever, because
And
they
turn the
can't
sensitivity down.
hear each other. They can't hear themselves think.
Andy, I didn't have to ask you how to do that because I called.
No, but I tell you what, Steve, I still remember somebody that looked exactly like you that had their hand that deep in a hole of mud.
Oh, I know that was fun. No, wait, hold on now. That was a puddle.
Are we sure that was mud? I'm just saying.
He was down in the water and everything else. It was,
I thought I dropped it in. I know. I don't
the
know what I
coins
was
were this far down.
I know, but I thought
Steve was 12 inches down.
I
and
thought it
going.
went down. I thought it went down. Listen, I was walking on your hunt. And this is no lie. I was walking. Now, you only held your hunt in that one spot. So the holes were just dug. And I found at least 2, maybe 3 targets in holes that were already dug.
Yep, and that's unfortunate.
Funny as how I laugh. It's just funny. It is, you know.
Or you see people digging 12-inch deep holes. All the targets were 2-3 inches or deep or less, and they're down 12 inches. There's something there. We didn't bury it.
I thought it was a wheat penny that may have sunk in there. I don't know. And then you come over and go, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, like I don't know. looking for a penny. It's not so what. I was having fun.
Wait, one guy came over to me. I had a foreign coin. It was probably the size of my fingernail. And he says, "Man, I don't know how you dug them, how you buried them that deep." He said, "This coin was a good 12 inches deep." I'm like, there's no way. That coin was smaller than a dime.
Because he kept digging it up and dropping it back in the hole.
And in the same respect, on the other side where Mike did his hunt, not very many people were digging like I've seen them dig. There weren't very many deep holes. You know.
No, but there were a number of holes that weren't filled in. And
I'm talking about, but I'm saying people that listen, I gotta tell you something. I don't think I dug a single hole for a target. I'm not gonna tell my secret, but if you do things right, you don't really need to do any more than maybe even dig a little divot, a little divot. You don't need to be doing circles out there.
If it's flat on top of the ground, your pin pointer on your machine should get you close enough that you shouldn't even have to be dropping down every minute with your pin pointer.
Years ago, my son was at a hunt. We were down in Gatchel, or it was near Gadsden, South Carolina, and it was a hot day. It hadn't rained in 2 weeks, so the one field was like concrete. So what they did is they just seeded it. They threw the coins out.
People were still digging.
Well, but no, wait a minute. So my son's watching this, and he's looking at the sun, and he walks all the way around to the other side of the field, and it's like 95 degrees. And they're laughing. I go, "What is he doing over there?"
He was getting.
Well, when they started, he just walked over, and they were all glinting in the sun.
I love it.
He just picked them up.
It happens.
Yeah, because you always get those people who hit it with their hand shovel and push it down farther and farther and farther, and they'll be like, some of these were like 6 inches. I'm like,
yeah.
That's like the tiny little earring stud going through your scoop at the beach.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of it is from people with the mindset that they want to, when they detect, they dig a plug, they flip it over, they look for the target, and this, doing this is just.
I got mad respect for the guys that show up with their 20-year-old Tesoro, one button, turn it on, and they go out there and they kill it.
Oh, they kill it.
There's 2 guys that show up at your hunt that use the a Troy Shadow X5.
Oh God, I would kill to have one back again.
So I gotta tell this story because this is the second time this has happened to me, and it's funny as hell in one respect, but I feel bad in the other. So everyone's lined up around the perimeter, and Mike says, "Go." And I hear Steve, and I look back, and now everyone knows in a seated hunt, you got to be fast. You got to be fast off the line. You got to be fast. And I look back, and it looked like Rich looked like a lost puppy.
He did.
He's got this look on his. Yeah, Mike was standing there too. He goes, "I can't pair my headphones." He's got an Equinox. He goes, and I'm like, but Rich, I go, "No, I can't, Rich. I just can't. The hunt started. I can't sit. If I sit there for 5 minutes with him, I just lost 15 targets. You know what I mean?
And Mike was just like,
Mike turns around and goes, Mike goes, Rich, just use them without the headphones. Just use them.
I must have paired at least 5 or 6 people with their Equinox. Those headphones are terrible.
I don't understand. I turn my phone on, and it'll find every Bluetooth item in the 6-block radius, and yet we still have trouble pairing Bluetooth headphones to machines.
But Andy,
that are proprietary. I mean, you're really not going to find any other machine.
Did they come to you right as Mike said go? Everybody go, and I'm like, what, Rich? God, and I love the guy too, and I would have loved to have stopped and helped him, but no.
Yeah, you always get a couple people that are new to it, and I feel bad when they I found 3 coins, but they're usually excited where I'm just like, whew, you know what I mean? Just like,
yeah. It
The
took the
problem
girl.
is, especially with newbies, you bring your biggest, baddest, and best machine, you tweak every button on it, and then you go out there and then you believe that you're going to dig 4-foot holes to find the coins. When the fact of the matter is, I do seeded hunts now. Right now, I use the Xterra Pro. That's the cheapest one with single frequency I've got, and you can't. We're not allowed to impart any knowledge anymore on the pages. We just aren't. If they don't come to your page to listen to what you have to say, you're not getting it out to anybody because they're all internet experts now. And
I just did a club talk a couple weeks ago. And it was Club Out West, and there was like 60 people in attendance. I did a Zoom call, and I asked them. I said, "How many of you guys have got the latest and greatest state-of-the-art, multi-frequency machine?" And almost every one of them raised their hand. And I asked a question. I said, "How many of you guys have single frequency?" And I got this look like, "Well, why? I mean, they're multi-frequency. Why would I want to go single frequency?" So then I said, "Do you guys hunt parks?" "Yep." "Do you hunt private yards?" "Yep." "Do you ever get a lot of chatter?" "Well, that's these new machines." I said, "Go to single frequency. It goes away." One guy out of the whole group had done that, and he agreed. The rest of them like, "No, it can't be. Why would you want to go to single frequency?" And I got feedback from several of them like, "You're right. It does. It quiets it right down." Multi-frequency it didn't make everything obsolete.
Exactly. Listen, it has its purpose. I love multi-frequency for what it's used for. And guess what? Seeded hunts. I thought maybe 2 hunts. I thought I'm going to get away with the CTX on this heated hunt. I walked off the field halfway through the seeded hunt to go get something that was single frequency.
Yep.
There's a time and place for everything, and a seeded hunt isn't a time and place for those heavy duty multi-frequency machines. It's just not.
Like, I use a Manicore all the time. General, anything over 16, if you're in multi-frequency, that thing just hums.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst setting in the world on that machine. Like, it's just like, I can't go anywhere. And
well, just to give you an idea, when I was using the Manicore and I would go to the beach, the last setting on the planet that I would ever use was beach. I would use general trash rejection, and that was my best one on the beach. I would find more stuff on the beach with that than I would with any other setting.
Yeah, that's what I use all the time on my Manicore, trash reject.
Yep. And you know what? The fact of the matter is that your machine doesn't know what that mode is called. Use what works best when you're someplace. Maybe it's different. This place might be different than that place, but use what works best. Don't use necessarily what it says on the label, because that's not always. I use beach mode on the CTX 3030. I use beach mode all the time in the field that have mineralization or have chemicals in them.
I tell people all the time, the machine will tell you something's not set right.
Right.
So when you're out there hunting with a competition hunt and you've got 30 detectors within 20 feet, it's chattering. It's telling you that there's something wrong. If you hold the coil stationary and it's chattering,
Exactly.
It's EMI. So you got to go to single frequency. If it chatters only when you're sweeping, it's the ground. So it's either EMI or the ground, and you got to know what setting to go into to adjust it to get rid of that. But for a hunt, single frequency drop your sensitivity to 50%, you're going to hit everything anyway.
Yeah, you could probably drop your sensitivity even lower. These coins are only a couple inches on
Right there,
the surface.
There was
light
one
up.
guy at your hunt, Mike, last time that had a 15-inch on his Equinox. I would never use a 15-inch coil at a hunt.
No,
it's no need.
there's too many targets. You might be hitting 3-4 targets.
Right,
That's the
'cause a
other
lot of
thing,
them work
especially
close.
if you've got a lot of targets in a small area. Then the bigger landscape coil is going to just hit too many things.
Yep.
And unfortunately, these machines aren't necessarily separating out 3 or 4 targets like the CTX. It's like they're reading 3 targets and they don't know what to do.
Well, I'm looking forward to November. I'm looking forward to you posting on that.
October.
Better not be November because you'll be there by yourself.
Yeah,
I do
exactly.
that all the time. I just said that so Tim Lynch would go in November and we'll all be there in October.
He's always welcome.
So
He's my guy.
October, and I'm looking forward to you posting it on the page. If you are watching this show and you've been to one or more of these hunts, you do know that you've got to get your reservation early, and we're going to have a good time. Guaranteed.
I will have Charlene with me this time. So
I missed her. Well, hey, tell her. Did you tell her the first thing I said was
She's right. She's sitting right here in
I
the
know.
hotel with me.
And
I'll be able to help more people, and I'm not trying to do 16 things at once. As Mike can attest, I was more than a little bit flustered in the morning.
yeah,
I got settled down, but yeah, we'll have 2 people there.
I
it all
don't know
worked out.
why you men can't multitask.
Oh, I'll be quiet.
That's all we did that day is multitask. Actually, it felt like it ran as probably the smoothest hunt so far. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're getting it down. You're getting it down pat. You know what I mean? And that's why.
A little marshy at times.
It was a rainy week.
You know what though? It wasn't that bad. The first hunt there was a little. It wasn't bad.
It dried out by the second hunt.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it really did. So, yeah, it wasn't bad. So, all right, I want to keep. We get to 10 of 9. I want to keep like the last 10 minutes. I want to see what's going on with Andy. What do you got coming on, Andy? What do you got in the works? I know you got the book for the Equinox.
Well, first of all, I got to ask Andy a question. Roughly, ballpark, how many books have you written thus far in your life?
Last time I checked, it's 3,500 or so articles for magazines and the like, and 16 books. Be working
Okay.
on 17.
I'm writing a pamphlet, and how the hell do you not pull what? How do I stop from pulling what's left of my hair out of my head? But I don't know how you do that many because I hate it. I hate writing. I hate it. Oh my god. I'm already 2 days behind. I was supposed to have it to the printer 2 days ago. I'm not done. I got another whole chapter to finish. I don't know how you do it and stay sane.
That's my escape. If I have a bad day at work or something, I can get behind the keyboard and I get lost.
So the next book coming out is the Equinox.
Deus.
I mean, so I'm sorry. Yeah, the Deus. I love my Deus too. As we were talking about it before the show, and I had to update it, and I lost all my programs. So now I'm looking forward to Andy's book coming out. Anything else in the works? What else you got going on?
Well, the Manicore will follow, and then my wife keeps talking me into a general treasure hunting book.
There you go.
Unfortunately, there's an awful lot. The YouTube, I think social media is a double-edged sword. There's good information, and there's a lot of bad information. You see people hunting large cities that have got a permit system that says you can't use anything more than 12 inches long. You can't hunt underneath trees, and you see them in the videos with shovels under the trees. And you question them, and their answer is, well, the cops have more important things to deal with. That's not the
That's not the right answer.
I was always having lunch. So, Andy, let me ask you a question. Have you used AI at all in your book writings now that it's available? No. Okay, I'm just wondering.
I don't like that. I mean, it's based on what's out there, and again, I've played with it, and it pulls a lot of bad information.
Okay, yeah.
It pulls from its database, which is unfortunately the internet.
Yeah. Well, listen, a computer can only perform what it's put in what's put
However,
into it.
I am very, very grateful for the new AI spell check that's built into my computer because that has saved me a couple times.
Yeah.
So what else was oh, Andy, I want to ask you a question too. I want to put this out there to you. I don't know why I want to ask you, because you're a pretty smart guy. Okay, so I was on the beach Memorial Day weekend. It was beautiful, nice sunny day, a lot of people on the beach. People were in the water, and about 4 teenagers, I'm going to say around the age of 14, come running up to me. They weren't near me. They saw me out there. They came to me, and they said, not for nothing, but my mom lost her chain on the beach yesterday. And I go, well, where? They go, well, between here and here and blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm trying to feel these kids out. How do I put it? How much faith do you put in something like this? Because it's happened a lot, and some people really are BSing you. And I don't know, what would you believe these kids, or would you just be like, yeah, whatever?
If they can't pin it down to an area, I mean, you can stand there and say half a mile one way and half a mile the next.
No, they kind of did. I'm sorry to cut you off, but they gave me an area about maybe 30 yards long, and they said from here to here, and she was in the water a little bit, so they didn't really narrow it down to right where she was, but they gave me a general area, and they seemed congenial.
I'm not going to spend hours looking for
no. But would you? What's a percentage you would say that they're kind of telling the truth or just blowing smoke? Because I kind of thought they,
if they came up to you, I tend to think they're telling the truth. Now the question is it their mother, or did they see somebody else lose it and are having you look at it? I've seen that before, where somebody will see somebody, hey, I lost my ring. The next day they see you and they have you go look for it, and it's not
theirs. The thing. One of the kids goes, "Oh yeah, it's a big cold chain worth millions," and I'm like, "Dude, women don't wear chains like that."
As many people,
he wasn't the kid telling me about it.
As much people come up to you when you got a ring. I ask them the same question. I'll pull the ring and they're like, "Oh yeah, I just lost that gold ring." I was like, "This one has a really special inscription inside. Tell me what it is."
Right.
And I've had a couple of older women that there's no inscription inside, and they can detail the ring. I'm giving it to them.
Right, but yeah, like I said, this was different. I mean, the kid that came up to tell me, he seemed like he was being pretty honest. And I said, so what I did was I kind of asked a couple questions. Like, well, the first one that gave me a little bit of the hickeys, I said, well, where's your mom? And they're like, well, she went home. I didn't know how to take that. And I said, all right. I said, well, listen, what if I find it? How do I get it back to you? And they said, we'll be right up there the whole day. We're not going anywhere. And I looked for maybe 20 minutes, and they really were there. They didn't disappear. So that is a little bit more of them being genuine too. But
they should be able to describe something about it, though. If it's so important to someone, there should be a description about what it.
Well, they said it was a gold chain. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? If I would have found it, then I would have asked them what it really looked like. But
well, I mean, here's a good story for you. I mean, several years ago, I got a call. Somebody said, I lost a gold Rolex watch, and I know exactly where I lost it. That usually gets me worried when they say I know exactly where I lost it. But he said, I'm on this lake. So I said, all right, I put my dive gear on, get up there. And I wanted to get into the lake because there was an amusement park there, too. I figured if I find this guy's watch, I can get down, it's private property, and go down and hunt this amusement park. Well, we get out to the dock, and I said, all right, where'd you lose it? He points out into the cove, and he said, I was water skiing, and I lost it out there. I'm like, all right, well, this doesn't sound good. He goes, but I marked it. Oh, okay. So we get in the boat, we go out there. So where's the marker? He said, well, I tied the anchor on a piece of rope and a life jacket and threw it over. Well, where is it? He goes, well, I only had about 10 feet of rope. So the anchor is on the bottom with 10 feet of rope and this thing floating. I'm in 30 feet of water. He's trying to line it up. He goes, I think this is where it is. I'm sitting there going, this is a waste of my time. He says, you're going in the water. I'm like, all right, fine. I get down there. I found a Christmas tree, a hot water heater, rocks. I finally just sat there on the end of that hot water heater for 30 minutes, sucked the tank down, came up, said I can't find it. But it's like, are you kidding me? So he's got a gold Rolex watch in the bottom of this mud-filled lake in 30 feet of water and wanted to know why I couldn't find it.
Damn, a Rolex, huh?
You would have found it. It would have been one of those Rolexes I get at the flea market.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some stuff come out of the water that it's like, why would you wear this near the water? You know, I had a friend of mine in Chicago that got a call. Somebody lost a ring. He found it. It was a $65,000 sapphire diamond platinum ring. Why would you wear that in the water?
Why are you wearing it? Exactly. Why are you wearing it?
You know?
Well, Steve got a good one too. That set, 30 grand set.
Yeah.
Why is it at the beach?
That was on the beach. And then some of the sports stars have lost their Super Bowl rings, or didn't someone, Terrell Owens or somebody, lose a big earring or something? Somebody went and looked or found it. I don't know.
Yeah, or somebody found it, and then
Well, Frank, I'll give you one quick story here. So we got a call. Lady lost a wedding ring and engagement ring. She put it on top of the cooler. She pulled her pontoon boat up on this island out in the lake we used to live on, and her mother-in-law flipped the cooler, and the rings flew off the boat. So she called us up and said, "Can you find these rings?" I said, we'll give it a shot. We'll go out there. Well, you could walk across the beer cans on the bottom. That's because all the boats tie up there. So we literally got 5 garbage cans full of beer cans out. And she knew, she said, "This is where we were. I know exactly where we were." I'm like, "All right, fine, whatever." So we take a plastic stake and we drive it in, and we kind of work an arc off of that. And we found the wedding ring. And we searched for 2 more days. We could not find the engagement ring to save our life. So we pulled everything up, and the wedding or the engagement ring was on the bottom of that plastic stake.
No, really?
I swear to God.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. What's the chance of that?
Seriously.
And the chance that you pulled it up and it was still on there. Oh my God, that's classic.
Yeah.
You can't make that up. Well, listen, you can't say, listen, I know it's happened to me. I'm walking on a beach one time. Well, 2 times. One time I saw a guy with a gold chain hanging way down, like really, really low. And I'm like, dude, I'm just watching this guy. And he goes out in the surf, right? And he dives into a wave, no lie. He came up, and that gold chain was hanging over his ear. like hanging down, like it almost came off his ear, you know? And I'm like,
I've caught myself watching a few of those big gold chains at the beach, wondering if they were going to come off.
And another guy, one day I see this guy, man, he had this thing was a big-ass Cuban chain, big-ass bracelet, and he's out there swimming around, and I'm like, you know, you're going to lose that, but people do it. They really do it. You know, you're on the beach and you see everybody all blinged up for it. And they swear they're never going to lose it. I'm never, ever going to lose it.
One of the guys at the hunt, where else is he from? He's from your area, Mike. So he shows me he's got a beautiful diamond and platinum ring. I'm like, would you find out on the beach in the water? He goes, no, he's land hunting. There's a spot somewhere in your area that they're tearing houses down or clearing it. And he said that they're houses that go back to the foundations that go back to the 1700s.
Yeah.
But he around one of these houses, he found a platinum diamond ring. It's 1.5 carats on this ring. I found it on land.
I dig it when people find it in the land. When people find gold rings in dirt and wedding rings.
Well, Mike, you've got some. What's the last? You got a Real or something?
I have a ring story. So 2 years ago, I'm a park hunter. I find half of a gold ring. It got hit by a lawnmower.
Oh.
I go back to the park. Eventually, I find it about 50 feet away from the other part. I found the second part. So I got both halves of the gold ring now. But I searched for it probably 50 times. I'm like, it has to be somewhere here.
You've had some good land finds. You've had some
I've water hunted 2 or 3 times at a state park. So all my stuff is land finds. I have 2 half reals, probably.
What did you find recently? Didn't you find 18? Was it a bust dime or something?
I found a large cent not that long ago at a baseball field. But it was definitely the ones where they, you know what I mean, when the when they were doing the slate roofs, the pennies were a penny, but the washers were 3 cents. So it was perfect square nail right through the middle.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've found jersey coppers at schools. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Like you never know where it comes from, where the dirt comes from. So anything can be anywhere is kind of my philosophy.
Absolutely.
I found a nice gold signet ring in my buddy's backyard. He was having work done on his house, and I said, "They're destroying your yard. Let me go back there." And boom, I found a beautiful signet ring. And he goes, "That's probably my cousin's ring." And we contacted her, and she lost it like 20 years ago. It was a ring that her mom gave her. And he had a pool there and above ground that he took out. And she said she was playing by the pool, and there went the ring. I don't find too many gold rings in dirt like that. I was pretty amazed at that find.
Make a wheel up. People give something away. I don't know.
Sure.
I have nothing together.
But
I'll make up a surprise pack from my swag at Meridian.
so we'll let everybody run, and then we'll do this because I'll work on that. But guys, I want to thank you both, and Mike, you'll be back on the show again. Andy, you're always welcome. I always like having Andy on the show, and we'll boost your hunt when I know as we get closer to November,
October.
I
And
knew
Andy,
that time.
Andy's
I'm
a killer.
telling you, Mike,
Andy,
the second week in November, you get to that hunt site at 8 in the morning, and you're going to see Steve
And I'm
walking
that
around
time-
and lose everybody.
That time I knew I was saying the wrong date, but the first time I did. But you guys are great. Lehigh Valley Metal Detecting Club puts on a great
Lehigh Valley Treasure Hunters,
Exactly.
LBTH.
Andy, plug your shop.
We're more into the books and accessories and stuff like that for now.
You know what I wanted to ask you, Andy? How'd you like the acid box? Andy grabbed an acid box while he was up there. How'd you like it?
Now I got to get some replacement acid because I don't know what that mess is in the box now. I'm afraid to fish it back out. Not your box, the
Right.
baggie that I had everything in one thing. I think it's
Wash it.
kind of
Just
leaking.
wash it off. I've had some successes. Unless I'm out there plugging it every hour, you got to advertise like every hour of the day online. You just people don't see it or whatever. But yeah, I hope you like it. So thanks again, guys. We'll have you back on, Mike. You're the greatest.
Thank
All right,
you.
Mike,
Thank you,
like I
guys.
said, we will see you again. We'll stay in touch, and we'll definitely have Charlene down there keeping me honest, keeping me.
Keeping us all balanced.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right,
All right,
thank
man.
you.
All right,
Take
bye.
care.
Another two top-notch gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Mike's a great guy. We're always chatting on the phone back and forth, busting each other's stones and laughing. And Andy's all business, bro. And we know Andy is all business all the time.
He is.
And he's a smart guy. I'm used to talking to you, Mr. Dementia Land. So when I get to talk to somebody who really has what we'll call a brain, I just think it's great. It's great. So, all right. So let me work on a wheel here.
Hashtag topless merman Steve. I'll give you one guess who started that one.
You know what? Anymore. I don't even know what to deal
So
with.
I'm gonna make a little announcement.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Just everybody start hashtagging something on YouTube so I can get the list of people. So just keep doing something. So go ahead, Frank.
Just a small announcement, guys. Those of you who go to the UglyGearUSA.com page, you will see the Aquatech headphones disappearing. Pretty much, other than orders that I have placed, a couple of tough orders that I'm working on parts for. Other than that, we are no longer taking orders for Aquatech headphones. I'm saying no longer. If you contact me and I have them here built, because I have some for the Deus, I have some for the AT Pro and AT Max, the CTX 3030, and the Excalibur. New orders. We're not getting anything else in. The company is sold. At least that's the word today.
You're gonna act like you got money for it?
Well, not yet. But yeah, we are. I will be at liberty to tell you who will be building them for their brand in the future. I'm not going to say anything about that until the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But it's pretty much a done deal that we are officially closing up Aquatech. Like I said, if you need something and I have it now, I can get it to you. But other than that, there won't be any more Aquatechs, at least for the time being, guys.
You're in litigation.
Well, we're not in litigation. We are just we are at the end of negotiation. We're just waiting for the okay. But
Again, I get the
already
same.
placed a 1,000-unit order, so
I'm getting the same royalty as I get out of Detect America.
yeah, well, my royalty's not going to be that much more, but it's going to be royalty.
Now, good, congratulations. Listen, people don't understand what a long haul it's been.
No, this has been literally 3 years in the making. A couple of bumps in the road. Hopefully those bumps are done. It's not saying it's not done, because if the bump is too big, guess what? Aquatech will be back next week. But as of right now, we're done. We're done. We're done with Aquatech. I'm still doing some repairs, and I said what I have here now, I will. You contact me privately. Contact me through Facebook or whatever, and if I have it and you want it, I got it. So we're concentrating on the new Ugly Buck Cyclone, which is Ugly Buck's Hurricane, which as of today is holy crap. The orders are. Let's put it this way: Steve's actually going to get a royalty.
I got put to work. I got. I don't know. Everybody sees my 3D printer back there, and the funny thing is, what that glow.
I know it's a shame. It's just a glow because you can't really see it. It's cool as hell.
Yeah, it really is. I did a life. It's a 1-to-1 scale of the moon. It really. I could probably bring it over. Look, I'll bring it over here and show you. Hold on.
It's a pretty neat piece.
This thing's as big as a basketball.
Oh, and just so everybody knows, thank you. We gathered in the last couple of weeks, last month, over 600 pictures of Ugly Box success stories that we had. And I apologize because they can't all go in the book. It'll be a 600-page book. But we put a lot of them in the book. The book is, I tell you guys, I'm on the last couple of pages. It's going to the printers in the next couple of days, and it'll be out very soon.
There you go. You can see that real well.
Yeah, that's cool. That looks good.
I'm telling you, this thing's about 16 inches round. And it's a design of the moon. It's got all the craters.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool as hell.
I mean, and I got a nice little. I'm selling it. If anybody wants to buy it, it is for sale.
I can't believe how long of a print that is. Holy crap!
It took 34 hours, I think. one day. Yeah, 31 to 30. I don't know. And then printing the stand is really neat too, because it's unique, but it's some kind of fuzzy design. I don't know. You just put at least a stand. Oh shucks, the light came in. But there you go. And like I said, if somebody wants to buy it, contact me. I'll get you one. That's now if the boss says it's okay that I turn my printer off to stop making ugly boxes.
Well, let's put it this way: the last order we only need 50. So.
Well, they take a good couple hours to do 2 at a time.
Yeah, like I said, we'll have these boxes in a week or so. But I mean, we'll start building and shipping them out to this. It was a great order. 50 units, 50 books, 50 this, 50 that. But
I think
I'm sad. Aquatech was a lot of work, man. It was a lot of work. When I tell you that we did, and Steve had his hand in it because Steve tested every pair that came out of here. I had duct tape together. We worked hard on that design. It's completely different, and now somebody else is going to reap the benefits from it. And I'm happy for them.
I want to tell you something. I bet these boxes we're making are a lot better than what you were buying too. They're nice.
Yeah, they absolutely are. First of all, we had to drill out the old boxes, and then you have to clean. You have to clean every one. You have to taper every one. These boxes go together much faster than the old boxes did because we have a place for everything. Everything is already predetermined where we put it. Everyone fits. It's a beautiful thing. It speeds it up. It doesn't speed it up to 50 in a day, but it speeds it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. I can do about at least 4 boxes. Like if I put 2 boxes on tonight, I'll come down tomorrow and do 2 more boxes while I go out for the day.
Yeah, I think I got my 4th one going now.
I need hashtags. I need everybody to hit that hashtag.
Hashtag something. Hashtag. I got a bunch of cool swag I got from Meridian. I'll put together a little package and this will free up a little more time for me to actually ship stuff out.
I got Don Wentz says he's thinking of getting an acid box and now he likes the moon. I'm trying to get these names, and for some reason,
we'll build moons and we'll make ugly boxes out of them.
Ugly moons, dude. That'd be pretty cool. Like cleaning your coin on the moon. Oh Jesus! It keeps jumping every time I go to get the names. It jumps on me.
My poor dogs. They hate Monday nights because they don't ever eat until after the show.
How about the granddaughter landing a really cool job? I think she likes
that. And that is such a cool job. That place, it is. As long as you're inside, it's a great place.
It's like perfect for her. But I still think I got a feeling I'm going to come home and there's going to be a damn penguin in the house.
Steve, can we keep this?
I'm telling you, this girl wants to take home every that cat you saw. Was not
there's a lot of small animals, small fish over there. You can sneak home.
That cat was not supposed to be in my house.
I love that cat in a bubble.
Well, crazy. The cat in a bubble. So she came to me one day and she goes, "Got something to tell you." What? And I've told her, no more cats, no more cats. She goes, "What if I told you there was a cat upstairs?" I go, I'll keep it clean. I'm going to kill you. She came out and told me there was a cat upstairs and refused to get rid of it. And that was the cat. So I got a feeling penguin. Yeah, it's going to, I don't know. All right, let's give something away and then we can go to sleep because I got to set my printer to make ugly boxes. And one giveaway, right?
Yeah, whatever it is. It's going to be, I'm just going to put together some of the swag I got and I'll ship it out.
I've got Yankee Down South Adventures. Now, I don't know who that is.
Greg Papalo.
Oh, Greg wins.
And we should be surprised that Greg won. Congratulations, Greg. I'm going to give you some of the stuff you gave me.
You know what? Troy Johnson says his service cat passed away. I'm sorry, but yeah, I hate when I hate when
sorry, Troy.
I hate when people lose their pets, man. It's just it's just a shame. A shame. So
Greg Papalo, congratulations. Now you can add to those boxes of stuff you got.
We'll try and get some more guests on. I mean, a lot of things just come and go. I try and get
and remember. We will always do it, but it is summer. Like I said, you know what? We started off the night with very few viewers on this platform. It's summer. It's not dark. Here in Florida, it doesn't get dark till about 10 to 9 right now.
Yeah. And
so it gets up.
We always say, the funny thing is we always say that we're going to not broadcast. And like I was so dumb. I forgot last week was a holiday.
Yeah.
So I planned those guys to come on.
And listen, this is the time of the year during the summer month. If we have something that we're going to do, we may blow off a show during the summer. But if we have a guest, we'll promote it and whatever.
I love having a guest on it. I don't know. Maybe next week we'll plug Ugly Gear and just talk about what we're selling on that page.
Yeah.
But like I said, if we don't talk about it 1,000 times a day, like it took you a while. Listen, it took you a while to get the Ugly Box name. We're out there and like it seemed like all of a sudden people would be on an obscure Facebook page and go, "How do I clean a coin?" And you'd get ugly. People all of a sudden people were Ugly Box, but some of the other stuff.
Yeah, no, I saw. Yeah, Greg's donated his he's donating his prize pack to FH11.
Okay. All right.
Well, you know what, dude? That was the thing, and my favorite thing in the world is people talking about electrolysis on some of the other pages, and they call it ugly boxing it, and they don't even know what the ugly box is. That was the tough part, is getting the name out there.
And but what I'm saying is, yeah, and there'll be a bunch of people going, yeah, ugly box, I got one. I ugly box. But any of our other items that we have for sale on that page is tough.
Yeah. Well, it's well. First of all, it's new. People don't realize it yet. Trust me when I tell you guys, some of the stuff that we're doing is stronger than anything else out there right now. Our coil supports and everything. You can literally drive a truck on top. I mean,
Right.
and that was the idea. We weren't going to put it out there if it was junk. And it's still, listen, there's a lot of competition out there. People, it will get around and people will start recognizing it. But it's gotten popular and it slowed down for a couple of weeks. Thank God, because it gave me time to catch up on a few things. But now we're popping orders again,
and we're willing to design something that someone needs. We're not above taking suggestions.
Barb,
You know what
I
I mean?
can't give those away. I ate them. Barb says I got cookies in Meridian. I said, yeah, but they're gone.
And if you still have them, they're probably a little stale.
No, because everybody attacked them at the cabin. They were gone.
Yeah.
They were gone quick.
Yeah, they didn't hit the table, did they? So yeah, maybe we'll if you compile something next week,
Yeah.
we'll go over the ugly gear page for people. Not going to get us anywhere, but so. All right, say goodnight. Hit that button. Get me out of here. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see me next week.
We love you though.
See us next week. No,